Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life, and in today's video I have another update for you guys, and this one shocked me. It threw me off completely. I was not expecting this. So if you watched my last video, I said that would be my last update, and then in the next few days or even hours we would get a approval, or that the Department of Justice say they are going to sue. Well, now there have been a change of events. So as of yesterday, and I wanted to wait until more sources came out, there's now two sources that have a few sources of their own that are confirming this. But it looks like the Department of Justice and the state departments, they have met, and they are wanting a fourth player in the mix in order to approve this deal. So with this deal, if these two companies combine, that's Sprint and T-Mobile, we are going to go from 4 major carriers down to 3. Well, the Department of Justice is supposedly going to ask in a concession that the T-Mobile and Sprint merger can be approved if they consider divesting wireless spectrum to help create a fourth player. Now, in my opinion, that was worded a bit wrong. It shouldn't have been create a fourth player, because that would require a lot more than just spectrum. But as of yesterday, Bloomberg reported that Comcast and Charter have met with the Department of Justice to see if they would be interested in these airwaves. Sources are saying that the airwaves that they're talking about is Sprint's band 41 of between 60 to 80 megahertz, and then also low band to help the fourth player, Comcast or Charter, or whoever it's going to be, compete at the urban and suburban levels, and then offer a wholesale roaming deal outside of native coverage. So as soon as you get outside of the it's kind of like what Sprint currently has with T-Mobile. So as soon as you get outside of Sprint's coverage area, T-Mobile's roaming kicks in, and then you still have LTE as you normally would. Just at that point, you'd be roaming on T-Mobile's network, but it's just as if you were on your native network, so you as a consumer don't notice a difference. And this is a similar deal that the Department of Justice is trying to create. They want that fourth player to be competitive, to have spectrum, and to be able to still roam on a nationwide network. So in return, in my opinion, this is kind of like what Sprint would be if the merger didn't get approved. Sprint would then be a more of a regional player on the urban and suburban levels, and then they would still roam on T-Mobile's network once you get outside of the native coverage. So I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just reporting. But in my opinion, I think Comcast has money. So they could be a much bigger threat to the new T-Mobile than Sprint and T-Mobile would be to Verizon and AT&T. And I'm just talking money-wise. I think the new T-Mobile will still have a better infrastructure, a better network. But Comcast has a good amount of money to compete pretty hard against the new T-Mobile. And who knows what could happen with that potentially in the future. Comcast has TV. They got home internet too. They got everything. So I just don't know what to make of this. Will they accept it? Sources are saying right now T-Mobile and Sprint are heavily considering this concession just to get this deal to pass through, to just become a stronger player, even if they take a hit on spectrum. But allowing a Charter or a Comcast to move in that fourth place, that would be very, very strong competition. You would have pretty much 4 strong carriers that are competing heavily at that point. So I think they should consider not going through with the merger, letting Sprint partner up with Comcast and Charter, maybe do that, or both T-Mobile and Sprint come up with a deal with a third party. And then in all of this, what about Dish? Dish Network has been sitting on spectrum for all these years. They haven't made use of it. They haven't rolled out a network. Now they're doing protection sites so the FCC doesn't go after them. They're rolling out 1 tower on the outer skirts of the cities. So I think Dish needs to give up that spectrum to Sprint and T-Mobile to make them stronger if the merger doesn't go through. But I think if they want to create a fourth player, I think they just need to leave it alone. The Department of Justice just needs to come in and say, hey, we're going to sue against this deal if you don't agree to our concessions. And then Sprint and T-Mobile are just going to have to part ways and compete like they have been, and try to come up with a better strategy to compete much better against the big two. So just my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm sure a lot of you guys are not going to like that Comcast or Charter are trying to get in. They have already been meeting some of the top officials. So this is in motion. So I will keep you guys up to date. Based on this now happening, I don't think we're going to get a final approval anytime soon. It also seems that other companies are not interested too. Maybe even Amazon, or who knows. The opportunities are now endless with this concession being a part of the deal, that other companies are now going to probably try to move in that fourth slot. So definitely stay tuned. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.